What's the best thing that you can do for your spine is to build it up in as many different positions and ranges of motion as possible. So deadlift with a neutral spine, deadlift with an extended spine, deadlift with a flex spine, deadlift while you twist and rotate. Expose your spine to as many different ranges of motion as you can and as many different loads as you can. And that's how you build a bulletproof back.
When it comes to movement patterns, talking about exercise, physiology, and whatnot, what are there any exercises where like, man, that's probably not the best thing for your skeletal structure and longevity overall? Or is it pretty much like, hey, as long as you're not having pain and everything's going good, keep rocking it?
There is no good or bad exercise. There's only the exercise that you are not prepared for and not conditioned to.
Okay, good answer. I like it. What's about protective measures while doing exercise? Like, for instance, deadlifts and stuff like that. Are you pro, always wear a lifting belt or totally not necessary?
Yeah. So protective measures when lifting. Protective measures comes down to movement prep and what your body's adapted to. So we'll get into the lifting world a little bit. A lot of people will see a video of someone maybe doing some crazy squat form or crazy deadlift form. And if it doesn't look like a textbook, they're under the impression that is bad and could lead to injury. Well, that's not true. There's not enough context to determine that. So think about it this way. If I've been deadlifting with what I label a neutral spine my entire life, my body is adapted to that form, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, if all of a sudden I lift a heavy load in a position that is not that form, my body is not adapted to that position. Therefore, I'm susceptible to injury. It's the same reason why people who are, let's say, weekend warriors, hey, let me go do a competitive CrossFit WOD, but I haven't trained in 6 months and I'm overweight. Wow, surprise, they get injured. Okay, because they're loading their body, they're stressing their body in ways that they're not adapted to. So typical lifting is the exact same way. So there's two components here. Is one, you want an ideal movement prep to set your body up for movement optimization, mechanic optimization, we'll say, to give you the best levers and give you the best prep. So for that, let's say I'm doing a lower body day. Okay, I have a lower body warm up. I have a long form YouTube video on it, and I share it on my Instagram stories almost weekly, where I thoroughly prepare my core. I do belly breathing, abdominal bracing. I do a bunch of hip mobility, hip stability. I'm activating my external rotators, internal rotators. I'm doing low back mobility, mid back mobility, scapula stability. I'm doing all these different things that I know I'm going to be stressing throughout deadlifting and squatting and the things that I'm going to do to make sure that my mobility and stability is optimized so I can move and generate force the best way possible. That will set you up for success from an injury standpoint too. It'll give you best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So you want an appropriate movement prep. Am I saying if, maybe your movement prep is a 20-minute walk? Am I saying you can't go work out? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's ideal to have a good movement prep, especially if you're someone who's injured trying to get back into the gym. Then the second component of that is, once again, training your spine in ways that you're adapted to. So what we do with all of our clients, and these are people who have, quote, severe disc herniations, severe nerve impingement, fire burning down their legs. They're told that they need surgery. We will get them pain-free, and then we'll get them back in the gym, and we will get them deadlifting with a rounded back. And the reason for that is so that we can adapt their spine to many different load patterns. So going back to the form discussion, if I've only ever loaded my spine in neutral spine, if there's ever a moment in life where maybe I got to move something heavy or I'm doing gravel or whatever, who's shoveling with a neutral spine? Nobody is. It doesn't feel natural. It's weird. Okay. My back's not prepared for that position because I've only ever trained it in a neutral spine. So what's the best thing that you can do for your spine is to build it up in as many different positions and ranges of motion as possible. So deadlift with a neutral spine, deadlift with an extended spine, deadlift with a flex spine, deadlift while you twist and rotate, whatever. Expose your spine to as many different ranges of motion as you can and as many different loads as you can. And that's how you build a bulletproof back.
I like it, man. I like my throw some. I might be doing a little lighter weight as I'm experimenting with these different spine positions, but that's exciting for sure.
Well, exactly. That's the point. So like if you've been deadlifting, and also this relates to like what your levers are. Like some people are going to have a weaker or stronger in these very positions, of course. But if you're really strong in, let's say, neutral spine deadlift, you're like, hey, I want to deadlift with a rounded back. Obviously, if you try to do the same weight as you've always been doing neutral, but you're doing it in a position your body's not adapted to, you're probably going to injure yourself. Yeah. But if you start with the bar and then 95 and then 135, 185, 225, 275, you can build that up and you can adapt that load in that region of your spine to your neutral spine weights too, just like you can any other lift.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Savage Clip. If you want to see the full-blown deep dive, check out the full episode here, and I'll see you there.